Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Quantum Thread podcast. Today, we're diving into something truly revolutionary that could fundamentally change how we think about AI, data management, and even digital trust. We're talking about Vogon payload, their incredible Epoch technology, and how it powers secure, context-aware intelligence for the next generation of AI systems.
It's an absolute game changer, Susan. For anyone who's ever wrestled with messy data streams or tried to build an AI that doesn't forget what it learned yesterday, this is going to sound like music to your ears, especially because Vogon couples epochs with a spatial temporal thematic semantic model, or STTS. So those memories are structured in context instead of floating around as isolated facts.
Right? I mean, catastrophic forgetting in AI has been such a huge hurdle. Imagine an AI that just keeps learning, evolving, and retaining everything without ever needing a reset or losing crucial context. That's what Vogon's epochs seem to promise.
Exactly, Anne. So, Paul, for those who might not be familiar, can you give us the elevator pitch on what an epoch actually is in the Vogon context?
Absolutely. Think of an epoch as an immutable, versioned snapshot of a system's state at a precise point in time. It's like taking a perfectly preserved photograph of all your data, processes, and knowledge at a given moment. The key here is immutable. Once an epoch is created, it can't be altered. And versioned means you can track every single change over time, enforced by cryptographic linking under the hood, so any attempt to tamper with that history becomes immediately detectable.
So like a digital ledger, but for an entire AI's understanding of the world, or a complex system's operational state?
Precisely. It provides a verifiable, transparent, and totally immutable record. This is crucial for auditability, reproducibility, and frankly, building trust in AI systems. You can always go back and see exactly why an AI made a certain decision based on the knowledge it had at that specific epoch.
That's huge, especially when we talk about critical applications like healthcare or finance, where transparency isn't just a nice-to-have, it's a legal and ethical imperative. But let's dig into that non-regressive authentic intelligence Anne mentioned. How do epochs enable that?
Well, from my understanding, the catastrophic forgetting problem happens when an AI is trained on new data and in the process overwrites or loses some of the knowledge it gained from older data. It's like learning a new language and completely forgetting your native tongue, and it's one of the biggest blockers to using AI reliably in fast-changing real-world environments.
Exactly. Epochs fundamentally change this, because each new piece of knowledge or training isn't just applied to the current model, it creates a new epoch. So, instead of overwriting, the AI builds a layered history of its learning. It can access any previous epoch, essentially remembering its entire learning journey.
So it's like a knowledge tree, where every branch represents a new learning experience, but the trunk and older branches are still fully intact and accessible. That's incredible for true continuous learning.
And it makes the AI authentic because its understanding isn't just a fleeting state, it's a verifiable, evolving history. You can see the genesis of its knowledge, how it adapted, how it refined its understanding over time. It's not just a black box that spits out an answer. There's a traceable lineage to that answer.
And this hierarchical structure is key too, Susan, as you just alluded to. Epochs aren't just flat snapshots, they can be nested. So you might have a high-level epoch for an entire project, and within that, smaller epochs for specific modules or even individual training sessions. This gives immense flexibility and granular control.
I can see how that would be powerful for managing really complex AI projects, especially those with multiple teams or modules working concurrently, which actually brings us to another fascinating aspect: collective intelligence. How do epochs foster that?
Well, if you have this shared versioned knowledge base, imagine multiple AI agents or even human experts contributing to it. Each contribution, each new insight creates a new epoch. Everyone is working with the most up-to-date information, but critically, they can also see the history of how that information evolved.
Exactly, Anne. It eliminates the single source of truth problem because the truth itself is versioned and transparently evolving. If one agent discovers a new pattern or a human expert adds a critical piece of context, it becomes part of the shared epoch history, immediately available and auditable by everyone else involved.
So it's a continuously growing, continuously verifiable brain, essentially, and not just for one entity, but for an entire ecosystem of collaborating intelligences. That's mind-blowing. It allows for true collaboration and consensus building, even among disparate AI systems.
Think about something like climate modeling, for instance. Different research groups, different AI models, all contributing their findings, their updated data sets, their refined algorithms. With epochs, you could track the evolution of the global climate model, see how each piece of research contributed, and revert to previous states for comparison. It adds a layer of scientific rigor that we desperately need.
Or even in areas like autonomous driving, where you have multiple sensors, multiple AI modules, all making decisions in real time. Epochs could provide an immutable log of every decision point, every piece of sensor data, every environmental factor at that exact moment. It ensures accountability and continuous improvement.
That's incredible for debugging and for safety, honestly. If something goes wrong, you don't just have a black box, you have a fully documented history to trace the issue. And this brings us to the more complex but equally vital concept you mentioned earlier, Paul: spatial, temporal, thematic, semantic. How do epochs help manage that?
The STTS. So spatial refers to location data, where something is, temporal is time, when it happened, thematic is the subject matter or category, and semantic is the meaning, the context. In complex AI, you're constantly dealing with data that has all these dimensions.
Like a sensor reading from a specific weather station at a particular time, measuring temperature, and understanding that temperature relates to weather patterns and climate change, that's STTS right there.
Exactly. And the challenge has always been how to manage and connect all that information without losing any of those crucial dimensions. Epochs provide the perfect framework. Because each epoch is a snapshot, it inherently captures the temporal aspect. It happened at this time.
And if your data includes geographical tags like GPS coordinates, then the spatial element is also locked into that epoch.
Precisely. And by structuring your epochs hierarchically and by associating specific metadata with them, you can clearly define thematic category, what this set of data is about. And then, because you have this immutable, versioned history, you can build up a rich understanding of the semantic relationships over time. You can see how the meaning of certain data points evolves as new information comes in, without losing the original context.
So instead of just having raw data points, you have data points contextualized by when they happened, where they happened, what they relate to, and their evolving meaning. It's like giving AI a complete story, not just disconnected paragraphs.
That's a fantastic analogy, Anne. It sounds like Epochs is essentially building the foundational infrastructure for AI to really understand the world in a human-like way. By connecting all these dots across space, time, theme, and meaning, it moves beyond just pattern recognition to genuine comprehension.
That's the ultimate goal, isn't it? To create AI that's not just powerful, but also reliable, transparent, and genuinely intelligent in a holistic sense. And the ability to roll back, to analyze historical states, to reproduce specific conditions, that's invaluable for debugging, for training, and for validating ethical AI behavior.
It also empowers developers too. I mean, imagine being able to iterate on an AI model, knowing that if something goes wrong, you can always revert to a stable, known good state. It fosters innovation because it reduces the risk of breaking everything with a new experiment.
That's a brilliant point, Anne. It accelerates development while simultaneously improving robustness. So, looking ahead, what do you both see as the biggest impact of this kind of technology in the next 5 to 10 years?
I think we'll see a paradigm shift in how AI is built and deployed. We'll move away from monolithic, often opaque AI models to more transparent, auditable, and continuously evolving systems. It opens the door for truly adaptive AI that can operate in dynamic, real-world environments without constant retraining or fear of forgetting critical knowledge.
I agree, and I think the collective intelligence aspect will be huge. We'll see distributed AI systems working together more effectively, sharing knowledge and improving collectively, potentially solving problems that are too vast for any single AI or human team to tackle alone. Think about coordinating global disaster responses or accelerating scientific discovery.
That's incredibly inspiring. The potential for non-regressive, authentic intelligence and powerful collective intelligence, all underpinned by this ingenious epochs technology, really feels like we're on the cusp of something truly transformative. It's not just about building smarter machines, it's about building more reliable, more ethical, and ultimately more trustworthy intelligence, with clear decision trails that regulators, auditors, and affected people can actually inspect and question.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Susan. The implications are profound, and Vogon is definitely leading the charge in this space.
Definitely something worth keeping a very close eye on. It's exciting to think about what this will enable.
Absolutely. Well, that's all the time we have for today on the Quantum Thread, Weaving the Future of the Internet. A huge thanks to Paul and Anne for breaking down the incredible world of Vogon payloads epochs and what it means for the future of AI. You can read more on their website, vogon.cloud. We'll catch you next time.